Hello everybody, so today we're going to discuss a recent purchase I made. A pretty exciting one. I got in a Mega Drive Mini, a pretty neat little mini console. I do have several mini Japanese consoles, including the pretty useless but very nice looking Gold Famicom, little Gold Famicom, which just has the Shonen Jump games in it. There aren't even really too many fan translations, but it is a beautiful little system. But that's not what we're discussing. We're discussing the Mega Drive Mini. So one of the reasons why I got it over the Genesis Mini is because I already have for my Switch the Genesis Classic Collection, which has 50 games, and most of the ones that are not on the Mega Drive are already here except for one of the Mickey Mouse games. So I kind of have all my bases covered. I know the sound isn't quite as good, but you can rewind and you can play it on the Switch, so I don't really have any complaints. And for $20, it's a pretty decent buy for being able to play original Genesis games, so there's always this option. But getting this, of course, you get the 6-button combo, which is right here. Here's my unused one. And if you notice it's a bit smaller. Oh, I know. It's a bit smaller than the Genesis controller, and depending on what you're used to, it can cramp up your hand a little bit, but that's if you're really playing quite a bit. I did notice with some games when I'm really firing a lot, it felt a little funny because I'm used to a slightly bigger controller, that being my 8BitTo M30, which is about the same size as the Sega Saturn controller. And it does have a different shape to it, so this is actually a little more comfortable to play long term. But overall, it's not a bad little controller. I did notice, I'm not sure where the issue is in either the emulation or the hardware, but in the menu you can notice a double input with the D-pad, and that probably does carry over to the games as well. So like the fighting games where inputs count a lot, and also puzzle games where you need to be precise, that can really impact gameplay. So hopefully not everyone's experiencing it. I am, so maybe there'll be a fix, maybe not. So that might be a deciding factor. If those are the types of games you really want to play, you might want to go for original hardware, not necessarily these little emulation boxes. A big plus and a recent discovery for me is playing Musha on this system. It is a really nice game, and it almost makes buying this for just that gameplay alone makes it really worth it. I saw Musha in Japan, and that's a very expensive game, going for over $200. Depending on your opinion for the shooter games, it could be worth it. It was very fun. I'm a bit better at the bullet hell games than the shooters, but it's really good gameplay, and I enjoyed it a lot. So it's definitely one of the games we're going to highlight. Now we're going to move into some gameplay, and we're going to check out some of that main menu, going back and forth between the English and Japanese look. I like the Japanese look a bit better, but the English one you can play the games in English. So let's go take a look at that now. Good job. Audio. Alright, so we're going to try this again with some audio that you can hear. And we're going to start off with the Japanese Mega Drive layout. You can see all the nice Japanese box art here. And there's our bonus games. And this one's like a little mini game. That one's actually pretty fun. So if we want to switch this to English, we're going to switch that over real quick. And it's as easy as that. There we go. And let's start off with a little Musha. And this is a pretty solid game. I like it quite a bit. I really just wanted to take a little bit to hear some of the music and just the general graphics. I don't want to play too much. Whoop.
I like the flaming skulls. The design of this game is really something. Yeah, the very school and Japanese motif going on here. Alright, we don't want to spend too much time with this. I'll move on to our next game. But with that, let's go on to our next game. And it's easy with that little mode button to quickly exit out and select another game. No, you'd rather stay on Lucia. We're gonna move on to... Let's see. We have some Snow Bros. That's another exclusive game. Hopefully I don't do too terribly at it. Just a simple little one-screen game here. We're just gonna get straight to some gameplay. Whoop. And you just want to turn everyone into giant snowballs. And then you get to move up to your next screen. Pretty simple, basic game, a lot of fun. I could see how you can get pretty addicted to this game. But let's move on. We're not here to do too much of anything. As I said, this game down here has a bunch of little mini games. There we go. So you have some paddle games. So there are a couple sports games in this mini. Paddle fighter. Ah, I won! There we go. Oh, oh, almost. Oh. Ah. Alright. Alright. And if you reset the game, you can try the other mini games. I don't know how much replay these have, other than just kind of being little curiosities. So this game you have really heavy weights, and you throw them at monsters. But you're a mummy or an escaped prisoner, I'm not sure which. And then, let's see. They bounce off of each other. Oh, oh. Alright. So there's a few other mini games on there, but let's move on to something else. Where is Puyo Puyo? There's some Puyo Puyo, which would be Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. Puyo Puyo is a pretty good game. You can buy the Japanese versions of these games for less than $1 often. They're a very common puzzle game. Some decent music and fun gameplay. But it's Puyo Puyo, you can't go wrong with it, so that is also one of the exclusives. So what else we got? Not really an exclusive, just the Japanese version. Yu Yu Hakusho, so that's the other fighting game. If you're familiar, it's a pretty solid game. You don't have to be aware of the anime to be able to enjoy it. But a little trial and error to figure out which characters you like. We can play a little more. I don't know any of the moves for this game. There's actually quite a few Yu Yu Hakusho games on the Super Nintendo and a few others. It was a very popular series in the 90s. Pretty long running one too. Actually, oh, you can jump forwards and back. Huh. And let's get out of this. So there's that. Not too bad looking. Contra, Gunstar Heroes, of course Streets of Rage, Road Rash, Slap Fight, Opa. A lot of really, Rent a Hero is playable if you have a guide. Here's the sports game we got. It's kind of like soccer and football. Pretty solid game. That's the ball. So you can be Team Namco, Japan, Korea, wrestling, boxing. Oh, here we go. We can be USA. Yes. It's a little chaotic, but I can imagine playing this two-player game. Oh. Come on. Oh, and I just scored a goal on myself. Alright. I just wanted to take a quick look through the gameplay. Nothing too serious here. Alicia Dragoon's pretty good. I mean, these are definitely games that there's something for everyone. During the summer, I like to play video games with my students, and I think this might be a big hit over the Super Nintendo Mini or the NES Mini. So we'll take a look at it and see how they feel about it. But a lot of solid games. And I think even if you get the Genesis version, you'll be pretty happy with it. So I think I'm going to leave that here. And I will see you guys next time. And I hope you have a good day.